Okay, well, welcome back in, folks. Looks like we hopefully took care of our technical issues. I am Rob Campbell, as Daniel Zippy Salmon mentioned earlier. We've got Connor Bell in here with us now, and Zippy's handling over on the production side of it. So, we got the race shaping out here. We got 3.5 minutes into this one. This is a 2-race format, I believe Zippy mentioned earlier. So, everyone's vying for positions into the next race. So we got I'm sorry, I can't see the first names on the timing. So we got NASA out front, followed by Marath. Close battle as there are only 7/10 separated there on track. So we'll see how it shapes out between the two of them here. But we can maybe get the full names out there. I'm not familiar with a lot of the drivers here, so I'm not quite sure what their first names are. Maybe Connor can shine a little light here on who we're looking at. But
yeah, absolutely.
Real tight confines here.
Thank you guys for having me in the booth today. It's a pleasure. We can see here Anthony Lanasa is in the lead. Took pole position by only a 10th, but as these drivers know, this is a very, very short track, Winton, but more specifically with the club layout here today. So qualifying was extremely important for these drivers. There's not a lot of passing opportunities on this track, especially with so many cars on the grid today. So Anthony did a great job qualifying on pole, and we'll see how he can command this to the victory here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we see Anthony Lanosa out front. Strong showing so far from him. He's got Andrew Moore about half a second behind him. Two of them look to be leading the field around here tonight. Adam Mika in third, Fernando Alfonso in fourth place. Winton is a bit of a tight track for these cars out here. I've ran it a few times this week just trying car combo out, so we had an idea of what's we look forward to, and it's real tough to keep the back ends of these M2s on track. So hats off to these guys out there putting in these quick lap times without losing the back end of the car. So
absolutely, these BMW M2s are quite a handful sometimes, especially when you get those tires overheated. But I think the key factor here at Winton is avoiding those really tall, dangerous curbs as much as possible. We can see, especially in that final chicane, those curbs are super, super tall. And if you get shot out that extra 3 feet on exit from that final right-hander, you are going to go into those extremely high, unsettling curbs on the exit of that final chicane. So something the drivers will have to look out for today.
Definitely, for sure. There's not much in the way of runoff here either. You get a couple tires off the grass and you're going for a ride. You definitely don't want to run into that big oak tree in the middle of the track. It's conspicuous there. Definitely don't want to have the front end of your car plowed up against that. But as we're nearing the halfway point, we still got Lanasa out front. We're currently on board here with Brian Lenze. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, or Lenze. Currently in 7th place. He's trying to chase down the blue car of Matt Larkin up ahead. It's like a fairly steady nose to tail here by our field. We'll see if Brian's able to pick up a little bit of pace or if he's just going to bide time. What's the reorder situation like, Connor, for the next race? Is there any kind of invert here, or is it just going to be where they finish is where they start for the next race?
Yeah, so for race 2, to kind of spice up the action a little bit more, it's based off of the results finished from race 1 with an inversion of the top 10. So if Anthony Lanasa does come home with the victory here, he is going to be starting in P10. Andrew Moran is going to be starting in P9, etc., moving down through that top 10. So it should spice things up for the start of race 2, but still a long ways to go here in race 1.
All right, so there you hear it. The coveted spot right now is P10, and I guess P9 too as well, starting you on the front row. Those are, you can't make your way up to P1. That's definitely where you're going to want to try and position yourself for the second race. Try and take advantage of that invert. But again, we're on board here with Matt Larkin now. Matt currently in 7th spot. That would put him approximately 3rd or 4th on the starting grid for next race. So Matt's sitting in a comfy position, but he's got a lot of pressure from Brian Lenze. He's trying to chase down Brian up ahead. We see, looks like Brian's trying to make a move on the inside of Michael Dowden there. Michael able to hold him off for now. Brian taking a alternate route into this corner. There's a couple different lines you can take through that corner. I've seen some drivers try and stay real tight. Some try and go out wide, double apex it, getting a strong run through the exit. So it looked like both ways didn't really cost much time for either driver, as Lindsay, sorry, still trying to chase down Dowden up ahead. Have you had any opportunity to run any laps here, Connor?
I have. Yeah, we had actually just to kind of break down how this league works. So obviously this is, connected to the Almeida Racing Academy, and this is for here we go, big battle here for P12. We got Valdos here battling the black car in front with some pressure from a green car and a black car behind. Should be interesting to see how this shapes up. And I think the key here is going to be to pressure your opponents as much as possible and force them into mistake rather than trying to go for overtakes themselves.
Definitely, for sure. I'm having a look. Kane Halliburton, that name sounds familiar to me. I've seen him in... okay. I've seen him in numerous official sessions too as well. He's very rapid. So I think he actually started at the back of the field trying to make his way through here. Now up into 13th as he's trying to chase down Abdul Muhammad up ahead to try and occupy P12. We're at the halfway point now, so it's getting close to a time where our guys need to make some moves to try and move up in the standings. Get that pertinent P10 pole position for next race. Currently held down by AJ France.
For sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if Kane Halliburton had an off track in qualifying or if he's purposely starting from the back to get that strategic P10 moving into race 2, which will, of course, convert to pole position. So not sure what the plan is there or if it was a mistake, but we can see a big battle here side by side through the long left-hander. They got to watch out for the big curb here on the next right-hander to not get sent out into the red car. Kane does a nice job defending his position and makes a nice overtake there.
Absolutely. That's going to move him up into 12th. He's still got Abdul Mahmoud up ahead in P11th, and they got AJ France in that similarly painted Almeida paint scheme up ahead. So it's a couple coaches going to be going at it here in short order. I'm not sure who we should be expecting to pull through in that one. It could be a battle of who wants to enforce their influence on the league here a little more, but we'll see how that plays out, whether Kane can take AJ down if they end up catching up.
For sure, and it actually looks like we're missing Anthony Lanasa here from the front of the pack. I'm not sure what happened. Hopefully we can get a replay here going soon, but it looks like Andrew Moran has gone and taken the lead, and I cannot see Anthony Lanasa on the timing screen here. We'll have to take a look back whenever we can and see what has happened because we have just lost our race leader.
Oh.
Hard into the wall.
Got those dreaded curbs at the start finish line and off he went. That's unfortunate for him. Now, is there a quick repair in this series or no quick repair? So unfortunate for him, he's not able to duck into the pits, gather himself a new car and continue back out. But as Connor mentioned, we got Andrew Moran up top now. He's got a 4.5 second gap over Andrew Mika. So Moran looking strong up top, but Mika having to battle to hold on to his P2 position. He's got a pack of about 5 cars on his tailpipe now.
Oh, big spin into turn 1. With some contact, it looked like. Michael Dowden in a black car making contact into turn 1. Let's have a look at this replay. Black car goes for a move here on the inside. Unfortunately, not enough room left by Michael Dowden in that green car. And then a secondary contact happening on the exit. Unfortunate for those drivers. Looks like Michael has picked up some damage. And the black car looks like he is out of the race at this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate all around. Oh, we've got a...
My goodness, chaos ensuing here at Winton. Mike Sargent here on the inside of the left-hander goes into the right-hander and again comes down on the blue car. Unfortunately, looks like not quite enough room left by Mike Sargent in that white car. Unfortunate mistake. We'll see if he could recover here. Safely rejoins and gets back into the latter part of the pack there. We can see Kane here into turn 1, making another move. He's already up to P8, starting from the back of the field. An incredible charge by one of the Almeida Racing Academy coaches. Let's see how he takes on the rest of this race.
Definitely hard charge for Kane there as well, but down to 7 minutes to go. That's where we're starting to see a little bit of the pressure being put on by our drivers, trying to optimize any little gap in space they can on track to try and pick up that extra position going forward. But Winton, tight confines. They start pushing deep into corners, trying to find any little gap. We're going to see a little more bumping and banging as we have, but currently Valdez Vescivis, I'm not sure if I handled that right or not, but he is sitting in our catbird spot in P10 right now. Looking to take pole for second race. He's got to hold off Abdul Muhammad right now, who looks like he's tight on his back bumper, and that green BMW trying to make a pass here, take over that pole position. He's looking inside, looking outside, drives a little deep, tries to cut back, unable to take advantage there. Right now, Van Sievis holding on to that position.
Impressive the amount of battling we're seeing on this very tight, twisty, short track here at Winton Club Circuit. Nice to see the drivers still getting some battles, and regardless, we see Abdul Mahmoud here going for a move on the outside, tries to cut back to the inside. We'll see if he can get a good run out of that right-hander.
Yeah, he went for the old look at me in your mirrors over here. No, I'm over there. I wasn't able to pull it off. I mean, Sevius holding off Mahmoud right now. They've got AJ France just up ahead of them. So we got a 3-car battle as it is for 9th, 10th, and 11th with just over 5.5 minutes to go in this one.
So right now, if we're looking at the standings, we can see, of course, Andrew Moran here in the lead. But what I'm starting to notice is the green cars are sort of dominating here at Winton. We can also see P2 piloted by Adam Mika, also in a green car. And then further down in the pack towards P5, Michael Dowden, also in one of those green team cars. Green has sort of set a dominant presence here at Winton in race 1. We'll see if things change up going into race 2. We can see Kane here is already caught up to the back of P7, that blue car of Sammy Hendricks. We'll see if he can make a move here with about 4.5 minutes to go in race 1.
Yeah, next up on Kane's chopping block, as you mentioned, Sammy Hendricks in one of those blue cars. Look at there's a little bit of a blue versus green battle at the front. How many different teams do we have in this race here tonight, Connor?
We've got about 8 teams here. Quickly looking at a replay, this is Brian Lenzi trying to battle 2 white cars going into this final sector. Goes for the move. Unfortunately, a little too late with that move. The white car turns in and unfortunately ends with contact. Brian Lenzi actually escaped that contact pretty unscathed, but the white car has been sent to the back of the pack. Coming back to our teams, though, we do have 8 teams here for Season 2 of the Almeida Racing League. As we saw, green is a dominating force. We can see up to a side-by-side battle here with Kane Halliburton and Sammy Hendricks going into the start of the final sector here. They're still side-by-side, through the right, through the left, back into the right, super tight into the right-hander, a little bit of contact. Kane does make the move stick, pushes Sammy Hendricks a little bit wide into that right-hand hairpin and makes the move work. I'm sure Sammy's not going to be too happy about that contact. We'll see if he can keep up and go for another move.
Yeah, a little bit of elbows out racing there, but everybody's still on track. No harm, no foul. So Kane Halliburton up into 7th now. Next on his charging list, Matt Larkin up ahead in 6th. I believe that's the blue car up ahead, one of Team Blue. So Kane Halliburton separating Team Blue right now, putting his black car in between. He's got a little over 3 minutes to try and keep charging up to the front. Matt Larkin now in P6, just ahead, trying to chase down Michael Dowden. We saw Michael involved in a little bit of an incident earlier, but he's still back on track. Oh, no.
Big accident.
That was our battle for P10. Van Sievius able to hold on to P10. Mahmoud rightfully looked like he checked up a little bit after knowing that he got into the back of Van Sievius there. Nice gentlemanly move, not to try and take advantage of it. They're going to continue their battle for P10 with 1.5 minutes here to go in this one. Nice battle raging on between these two. Yeah. We have a look here. Adam Mika currently in 2nd spot. He's fallen about 5.5 seconds back of Andrew Moran, our incumbent leader. We saw what happened to Lanosa earlier on. Mika trying to hold off Alfonso in behind him. You see him there in the white car, Team White, currently in 3rd spot. trying to chase down the purple car of Mika, currently holding down second spot. That's a real sharp looking paint job. I like that purple and gold combo there.
We can see the P3 car of Fernando Afonso getting nice and close there on entry. Unfortunately, looks like not getting perfect exits out of those hairpins. It's going to be interesting to see if you can make a move work on the entry to a lot of these slow speed corners. We can see that happening again there in the final hairpin. Fernando getting nice and close on entry, but again, not getting that drive out of the corner, which is very important in these BMW M2s. Very momentum-based cars, so the drivers have to be patient to ensure they can get the best exit possible. So we'll see what Fernando Afonso can do going into those slow speed corners. Again, can he push it a little bit harder on entry, get some overlap? That way he can push Adam Mika into a compromised exit. We'll see what happens here, getting nice and close. Again, in this twisty-turny section here at Winton, we'll see if he's close enough to make a move into this right-hand hairpin. Doesn't quite look like it. We're running low on time here. About 45 seconds to go in this race. We'll see if we get another lap coming up to the finish line here.
Yeah, most definitely. It looks like we're at the point in time now where Afonso might have to try and force something to happen. Try and give a little bump and run there to Mika ahead. White flag is out. This will be the last lap. Moran's going to lead them around, but we still have a focus here on the battle between Mika and Afonso. Not to be ignored, but we got Alessandro Ranieri in fourth spot, lurking back behind there in the white car. The three-car battle will just try and take second spot on the podium in this one. Currently held on to by Mika. He's holding off Afonso as it is for now, but Afonso looking inside, looking outside, trying to open up a gap somewhere. Force a mistake from Mika. Mika doing well to hold him off now as Afonso's there putting pressure on the back bumper as much as he can. They're heading into the tight tree section, left-right combo here. This is where we can see the alternate lines through this section. We'll see if Afonso takes an alternate line. No, he's going to stay tucked tight on the back of Mika's bumper. They're heading down 2 more corners to go here. Last chance for Afonso to make a move on Mika. He looks like he's kind of settled in, resigning himself to P3 at this point in time. He's just going to hold off Ranieri for third, and here they come across the line. Mika's going to hold on to second place. Nice battle between those 3 drivers on that last lap.
Absolutely. We can see Andrew Moran there coming with a commanding win. Kane Halliburton almost gets the pass for P5 coming up to the line, comes a little bit short side by side with Michael Dowd, and we can see another green car here finishing off and rounding off that top 10. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, the top 10 is going to be inverted going into race 2. So it looks like Mahmoud is going to be starting on pole. We got another close finish between a yellow car and orange car for that 16th position. Unfortunately, Blanco runs a little bit short coming up to the line. What a first race. Lots of action for this very tight track. Interesting to see some of those overtaking opportunities. All in all, though, Andrew Moran with a very commanding win. Unfortunately for Anthony Lanasa, fell a little bit short with the win there with that crash into the pit wall. Hopefully he can recover going into race 2.
Most definitely. We saw he had the pace, so he's going to have to try and charge from the back of the pack here tonight. We just saw Kane Halliburton move up a number of spots. I'm not sure what the final count was on his positions gained, but Lanosa definitely has the pace out there tonight. Try and duplicate something as well. We'll take a look at the final results. As we mentioned, Andrew Moran's going to bring it home on P1. He had Adam Mika in P2, and Fernando Afonso rounds out the podium. Alessandro Ranieri comes home in 4th. Michael Dowden in 5th. Kane Halliburton, as we just mentioned, charges up to 6th. Matt Larkin in 7th. Sammy Hendricks in 8th. AJ France comes home in 9th. And Abdul Rahman Mahmoud gets the starting spot of P1 for race number 2 by finishing 10th. And Connor, how about the rest of them?
Yeah, moving on to P11 is Mike Sargent, just barely missing out on that pole position for race 2. We got Brian Lindsay following him in 12th. The next row is going to be Ryan Luna, Valdez, Vansavicius, excuse me for the mispronunciation there. In 15th, we got Kevin Adrian, followed by David Kent. In the 17th spot is Aitor Blanco, followed by Fernando Rosario. And rounding out the top 20 is going to be Urs Muller and Yanni Matsanen. Back to you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you. And then 21st, we got Yufin Kiao In 22nd, Valdo Rea, Jay Steppe in 23rd, Zoltan Zomotor in 24th. And then we got a few drivers who unfortunately didn't see the checker flag in Lanosa, Euler, and Connor Bell, who's in the booth here with us, and John Voss. Okay, well, we've got about 5 minutes break between the two heats. Our drivers are out practicing. We've got a quick little ad here about the Almeida Academy, so you can have a look here and find out how you can join in.
If you're a racing driver and you want to reach an advanced level, there's a faster and easier way to become competitive. I've gone from this to this in 5 years. Now, we've created the perfect free driver development guide to help you understand the right order of racing skills to develop if you want to become a competitive driver as quickly as possible. This guide was made after 3,000 hours of combined high-level coaching.
Okay, there you go. It's a quick, brief little introduction to the Almeida Race Academy. I wonder if Connor could maybe take a moment here and explain a little more about the Almeida Race Academy. If there's anybody out there watching who's interested in joining, finding out how they can join, be a part of the racing here, and learn from a very quick driver in Suelio who's got a real great system here. I've been following him quite a bit on YouTube the last couple of years in his IRL racing and his sim racing as well. So very quick. It's nice to see the growth that Suelio's had in this program and the recent renaming of it. So let's hear a little more from Connor about what it's all about.
Thank you, Rob. Like I was saying earlier, I appreciate you guys having me in the booth today, having a lot of fun here. But in regards to the Almeida Racing Academy, it is essentially a great community of drivers, all trying to improve their driving technique, of course, founded by Suelio Almeida. If you guys aren't familiar with Suelio Almeida, he started in sim racing about 5 or 6 years ago, became the Canadian sim racing champion before transitioning to real life racing, almost that fairy tale story. Just yesterday, actually competing in his first IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge race. So really, really cool to see these sim racers transferring to real life racing. As in regards to the Almeida Racing Academy, all drivers in these races are a part of the membership program we're offering at the Almeida Racing Academy. Essentially, it is a program where drivers can improve their driving technique through the use of custom crafted challenges where they're going to be able to compare their lap times to Kane Halliburton, who's also in this race, along with some lap guides focusing on really specific techniques. So there's 20 challenges in the Academy membership, again, focusing on very specific things in each. And drivers are finding they are improving quite a bit and are getting many transferable skills to any car and track combo that they race on. So with this membership, drivers are able to register into the Almeida Racing League. This is our second season. And yes, of course, we have weekly races, but the cool thing is we also have events. So during the weeks leading up to these races every Saturday, we have a workshop on Monday, actually 2 of them hosted by Coach Brian Lockwood. Brian is a multi-time Porsche Esports Super Cup driver, very experienced, a very good coach, and offers a lot of great insight in those workshops. We have many other events like racecraft practice, official practices, and lots of other activities for a driver to ultimately improve their driving technique. So quick review of what the Almeida Racing Academy offers, but I'll pass it back to you, Rob, for the starting grid for race 2.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely an excellent program. We'll touch on that a little bit later. But as we mentioned at the end of last race, going through the standings, Abdul Rahman is on the pole for this race. He's got AJ Franz outside of him on row 1 in P2. Timmy Hendricks and Matt Larkin are going to take up P3 and P4 on row 2. Kane Halliburton is going to start a little closer to the front this time in 5th place. He'll have Michael Dowden to his outside. Alessandro Ranieri in 7th and Fernando Alfonso in 8th. I keep confusing that with Fernando Alonso, but I'm sure he's heard that many times before. But Adam Mika in 9th and Andrew Moran in 10th, and we'll let Connor take the next 10.
Thank you, Rob. Moving into the drivers outside of that top 10, we got Mike Sargent starting in 11th, followed by Brian Lenzi. And in 13th, we have Ryan Luna, followed by Valdis Vansavicius. Finally got the pronunciation there right. In 15th place, we got fellow Canadian Kevin Adrian, followed by David Kent. On the next row is Aitor Blanco, Fernando Rosario. And 19th, we got Urs Mulzer, followed by Yanni Matanen. And in the second, or last two rows, rather, we got Yifan Kiao, we got Valdo Rea, Jay Steffi, and Zoltan Zomator finishing off our grid.
Yeah, we got a few more drivers in Anthony Lanassa. Hopefully we can see him recoup from last race, Tom Euler, and then we got Connor Bell in the booth, and John Voss. We did not see him in race 1. I don't suspect we'll see him in race 2. Their drivers are on their pace lap now. It's a short lap. Pace car leading them around the final sector here now, and then it will duck in, and then we'll be underway for race 2. I suspect we'll see much of the same battling as we saw for throughout last race. This time we'll have our top 10 inverted, so we'll be able to see if there's a bit of a pace difference between the cars that finished at the top of last race and starting in P10, if they're able to charge their way through, if they're going to have to really battle through this one to get back up to the front. But yeah, we do have green kind of filling up the top 10 here, green and blue and white teams with the majority of the top 10 positions. We'll see if team purple and white can try and find their way up through there. We've got a couple of quick guys in the team black cars too as well. Kane Halliburton, one of them starting in 5th. We'll see how he moves up through this one. But into the final corner, pace car about to duck in. There's the green flag, and we're off into turn 1. 4 car wide into turn 1. This can't go well. They get it sorted out. Oh, blue car gathers himself up. He's going to lose a couple spots. AJ Front's going to get himself up into P1. Oh no, he's off again. That's Matt Larkin, looks like able to gather it up after a couple off tracks. Going to lose about 3 or 4 positions, but fortunately he keeps it out of the wall and he's able to continue on.
Trouble for a driver in the back. That is a black car. I believe that's Brian Lenzi going off track. We'll have to look at a replay and see what happened there. It looked like he clipped a little bit of that dirt on the outside of that fast, long radius left-hander, excuse me. But we can see AJ France here in the lead in the black car. Going back to the replay, we can see Brian Lenzi trying to collect the car back onto the track with another red car off on the right side. Oh, it was a little bit of contact with the rear end of a blue car. Thankfully, Brian keeps it out of the wall. It looks like he's going to be able to continue the race, but definitely lost a lot of track position.
Yeah, we see a battle up front here now between Dowden and AJ France. Dowden in the green car on the inside. Oh, France goes a little wide. Dowden's going to take up that spot. Mahmoud trying to take over P2 as well. He was our pole sitter for this race. Got shuffled back a little bit through the RG barge at the start, but he's trying to make his way back up into P2 now. He's got teammate Dowden up ahead. A couple of green cars here looking strong early on in this one, trying to run away from the rest of the field. Actually got another green car in, looks like 5th place too as well. So Team Green's strong out here so far in race 2, putting the pressure on the rest of the teams. Dowden opened up almost a 1-second gap over the rest of the field now as AJ France in 3rd, the black and gold car trying to chase down the green of Mahmoud up ahead. He's got Fernando Afonso, not Fernando Alonso, in P4, trying to occupy that final spot on the podium, currently held down by France.
Absolutely. It's a very lone battle here for that purple and black car in 3rd and 4th position. You can see it's an absolute swarm of green cars, in that top 5. Again, green doing exceptionally well here today at Winton. We'll see if they can capitalize and bring some nice results home, but it does look like that green team is going to be leading the championship after round 1 if they can keep the cars on track.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few other teams here that would like to take a stab at Team Green to try and bump them down. Team White here looks like they're trying to work together to move up through the field. We got Mike Sargent in the 8th position car. He's currently got, who is that ahead of him? Trying to see Andrew Ranieri just up ahead of him. They're pushing, trying to catch up to the rest of the pack here. Team White trying to put some pressure on that blue car up ahead, trying to alter the fortunes of Team Green up ahead, but they've unfortunately got the other Team Green car on their tailpipe. He's trying to go up and catch his teammates up ahead to really put some pressure down for Team Green here today.
Absolutely. We can see hopefully some teamwork happening between these two white cars in P7 and 8. It looks like they were trying to battle a little bit on that previous lap, but it might be worth it sending a reminder to each other that they are teammates, so they do want to work together to collect as many points as possible. We can see P7 there, Alessandro Ranieri, getting very close to that blue car in P6. That is the blue car of Sammy Hendricks. He is being held up a little bit by that P5 black car of AJ France. So we'll see if they can get past, but it does look like they are being held up a little bit right now.
Yeah, definitely. They've got the pack. France leading around this pack. Winton, not a whole lot of opportunity to make an overtake. You really have to try and force something through. But if the car ahead can make their rear end as wide as they possibly can, they really take any opportunity from the trailing car to try and make a move. But Kane Halliburton now trying to charge forward. We have it. Oh no, we got the red car of Anthony Lanassa again. No, sorry, the Yanni Matanen. I thought that was Anthony Lanassa again for a second. Another red car, but Yanni Matanen gets it straightened out. Looks like he was able to keep it off of the wall, or he just barely kissed it. If so, he'll get himself gathered back up on track. So not much lost here other than a little bit of pride and positions, but a nice save for him, able to keep it off the tire barrier and a safe rejoin, which we always like to see.
We got a big pack forming here from P5 backwards. It looks like about a 5 or 6 car battle, even more actually, more like 8 or 9 cars in a straight line. Like we've been alluding to a few times here on the broadcast, this Winton club circuit is very difficult to pass on, especially with these massive curves we're seeing in that final chicane. It doesn't allow for a lot of side-by-side racing, or at a bare minimum, drivers do have to be very, very careful with where they are placing their cars. We can see in 7th there, AJ France has fallen back a couple positions within these last 2 laps. Right behind him is a blistering fast white car. That is Mike Sargent on his tail. We'll see if he can make a move into these harder braking zones and into this middle sector.
Definitely. Mike Sargent's managed to slip himself in between those white cars, open up a bit of a divide. So we're seeing a little bit of separation between the colored teams, but I just noticed on timing and scoring here, Kane Halliburton has fallen back to 14th place, up into 13th now. As I mentioned that, I'm not sure if something happened to him earlier on, as he did start in 5th. Oh, he did not grid. I'm hearing from production booth, he did not grid. So that explains that. He's doing another back to front challenge here in race number 2 for Kane. We're heading back on board with the leaders here. Michael Dowden currently 1.5 seconds up on teammate Andrew Moran. We've got all 3 of our podium positions occupied by Team Green now, Connor.
Yeah, jumping back to our leader here, we got Michael Dowden. He's got to pull the 1.2 second gap from Andrew Moran, but I do believe that gap was a little bit bigger a couple laps ago. So Andrew Moran potentially putting some pressure on Michael Dowden, catching up a little bit there, but we can see it is a 3-car lockout for Team Green. We'll see if Michael Dowden can hold the lead here and hopefully keep and manage that gap for the last 13 minutes of this race. But one note about Michael Dowden, he is actually a real-life Formula 4 driver, recently competing and I believe podiuming at Miami Homestead Speedway on the road course. So just a note there about Michael Dowden. Maybe he can use some of his real-life skills and defensive opportunities to hopefully keep Andrew Moran at bay.
No doubt. Congratulations to Michael on that as well. We jump back on board here with AJ France. AJ currently occupying. Oh, we just lost AJ. We're now on Ader Blanco in 11th. Oh, and we got a contact between Ader Blanco and that black car. They both get off track, squarely gathered up. Kane Halliburton was trying to cut through there. Fortunately, Blanco and he, a little bit of contact. They both got it gathered up, though. That could have been so much worse than what it was. It was nice to see both drivers keep it gathered up. Nobody else got wrapped up in that one. So nice moves there by them. That moves Kane up into 12th. He's got the yellow car of David Kent. I think it's the first time we've seen a yellow car on track here tonight. Not sure if David Kent is the sole occupant of Team Yellow. He's out there leading the charge, currently in P11th. As we see, go ahead, Connor.
Jumping back here into 14th, we can see Anthony Lanasa is not able to make up a ton of ground here. If you guys remember correctly, this was our pole sitter in qualifying, led a majority of race 1 until he made that slight mistake on exit of this very chicane as we're seeing here. Unfortunately, hit the curbing incorrectly on exit of that final right-hander and went into the pit wall. But looks like he's not able to make that much of a recovery here in race 2. Still a fair amount of time, 11 minutes to go. As we jump back to P9 here, we can see Valdes making a pass on that black car of, I believe that is AJ France. AJ was running in P1 towards the start of this race. Unfortunately, has fallen back a little bit and kind of got swallowed up by the pack. We'll see if he can also make a recovery here and potentially make up some of those lost positions.
Definitely. France has his teammate, though, Halliburton, on his tailpipe now. We've seen Halliburton's got some pace, so maybe he can tuck in on the back of Kane Halliburton's rear bumper if he lets him by and try and work their way back up through the field. Through that way, it's always a bit of a strategy. If you have a quicker driver coming up fast behind you, you're almost sometimes advantageous to let that driver through, try and stay tight on their back bumper, let them open up opportunities for you to sneak through too, as well. As we sneak back here to Lanasa, still trying to make his way through the field. There goes Halliburton around France as it is. We'll see if France tucks in on the back of Halliburton now and uses his toe to move up through the field. David Kent drops a tire into the grass, able to gather it up, but he's looking back here at Ader Blanco on his tailpipe. Blanco looks to the inside, thought about making a move there, not quite enough room to tuck in that front bumper. Kent holds him off for now, but Blanco's always got to keep an eye on his rear mirror. He's got Anthony Lanasa, race 1 pole sitter, trying to work his way through the field still, trying to find the tight confines of Winton. Don't offer a whole lot. Oh no, Blanco gets around, or Lanasa, gets around the outside. Blanco and Kent get tied up. Kent back on track. Like Blanco took the worst of that one. He's going to lose about 4 or 5 positions out of that. Lanasa, though, is coming out peachy keen. He is up into P12th now.
Circling back to Anthony Lanasa, we were just talking about how he wasn't able to recover all that much in race 2, but he has made up a fair amount of positions in these last 2 laps. A fair gap to the cars ahead as we see some cars spinning into turn 1. I believe that was the red car of Kevin Adrian in turn 1, having a bit of a spin. It looks like there was some help from that other car it was going side by side with. Speaking of side by side, back with an orange car into turn 1, let's go and check the replay here. We can see the black car. I believe that is I'm not sure which driver that is, but some contact there going for a move, and Kevin Adrian getting the worst of that impact. Back down to 21st position here, but still pretty close to the back of that pack. We'll see if he can make some recovery passes here.
Definitely, we see there's Kane Halliburton moving to the inside of Vinicius. Now they're fighting hard through the final sector, up over the curves. We've seen a few cars go off. Speaking of that, we got a car on the inside there now. As we cross by the start-finish line, I was just going to mention that they have to be careful over those rumble strips. It's easy to lose that car, get thrown into the wall, but fortunately we saw one off to the inside. But Halliburton now up into P8. His charge from the back of the pack's got him up solidly in the top 10 as it stands so far. Next up ahead is Adam Mika in the Team Green car. We'll see if Halliburton's able to make his way up there, as we see what happened to Alessandro Ranieri. As I mentioned, got too much of those rumble strips and off into the inside, as we've seen happen a few times before. That car is not going to be happy, that's for sure. Team Green, still seeing them locking out the podium, although looks like Dowden under some pressure from teammate Andrew Moran. I'm not sure if Dowden dropped back to offer some slipstream to Moran and Mahmoud to try and hold on to Team Green's podium lockout, or if this is just sheer pace by Moran catching up to Dowden up ahead. But they've got Fonzo staying in touch and behind. If something were to happen to one of these three, he's there to immediately jump up into a podium position. The sole representative of Team Purple looks like in the top 5, definitely possibly the top 10. Strong run for Afonso out there today. As we can take a see at the standings, we got to look at who's been the hard chargers. Angela Nessa up 14 spots in this one. Tom Euler up 13 spots as well. Nice run for Tom. Currently in 13 spot, just outside of the top 10. We're on board here with Tom in the, I believe Tom is the team black car here, trying to put some pressure on David Kent up ahead. We've seen David embroiled in a bunch of battles in this one. We didn't see much of him in race 1, but unfortunately he's been all around it here in race 2. Some good, some bad, but he's still on track, occupying P10, a couple spots out of the top 10.
Absolutely. One car we haven't seen finishing too well, or one team rather, is Team Red. Like we were saying, Anthony Lanossa did have the pole position going into race 1, but unfortunately Team Red doesn't have too much presence near the front of the pack. So they are going to have to make some moves here, put some pressure on some other cars. As we're on board with Lanossa right now, we can see the black car getting a little bit loose through that long left-hander there. We'll see if Lanossa can go for a move. He does go for a move into the right-hander here. Doesn't fully commit, a little bit too far back, but I wonder if some strategy can be put into place by the first red car in this pack to potentially slow down that black car of AJ France and let Lanossa by.
Yeah, definitely. It's a little bit of a Team Red sandwich here for AJ France. He finds himself in between Lanossa and Vanavixis here as we got a little over 5 minutes to go. So getting down to only about 2 or 3, 4, possibly more laps left in this one for our drivers to try and make a move. As we see Lanossa trying to make a move on the inside. Oh, they're going to touch. Around goes France. Unfortunate for him. He's going to get spun and Lanossa carries on. Franc's going to get back on track. Looks like he's going to lose 2, 3, 4, 5 spots, 6, 7, 8. Oh, he's bleeding positions now. It's unfortunate for him. He's going to fall all the way down to 19th after that contact. But as we on board here with Adam Mika, looking back at Kane Halliburton. Kane just giving a little how do you do there with the front bumper, trying to force Mika a little wide. Mika able to hold on to it, not going to cave to the pressure of Halliburton. We see Mika in that Team Green machine, the 7th place car. So Team Green currently occupying 1, 2, 3, and 7th. Strong grass on the top 10 right now. Halliburton going to look to the inside again. Mika's just going to say, you know what, go ahead and take this one. I'm not going to fight you any longer. I'll try and tuck into the back, and you pull me up to the front as far as you can, Kane. Here they go. Next on Kane's bucket list is Mike Sargent up ahead in P6. I'm not sure if Halliburton has enough time to try and make it into the top 5, but he's definitely pushing to try and do it. To see him on board here now with Brian Lenzi. Brian and David Kent, I believe, still battling it out. Lindsay's going to catch a little too much of that curb. You see it unsettles the car, costs him a bit of time, but he ducks on the inside. Kent's going to go wide, try and late apex that corner. It costs him much of time. Again, he goes wide in this one. Lindsay looking for any opportunity he can, try and make the move. He's going to try an alternate strategy, try and double apex the last corner here, try and maximize the exit speed. Kent gets a better run out of there. He's able to open up that gap on Lindsay now as they head into the final couple corners. We'll see if either one of them grab a little too much curb here and trying to get overzealous, trying to make a move. As you see, oh, they're using up all the curbs there. That's going to run them a little wide into those dangerous rumble strips we've seen take a couple drivers for a ride that they didn't enjoy. Urs Mueller, I'm not sure that's a name we've mentioned so far today, but he's got a nice strong run up into 14th right now. And for Team Orange, good teammate Ader Blanco in behind him. Blanco we saw wrapped up in a little bit of a incident earlier on, trying to recover now up into 15th position.
Got about 2.5 minutes left here in this final feature race of round 1 here at Winton for the Almeida Racing League. A good battle here with these 2 orange cars and the blue car of, I believe that is Matt Larkin. We'll see if he can make a move on these two orange cars and collect those couple more points for blue team, who looks like they have been struggling a little bit in this first round. They definitely are in recovery mode, but the team that is, again, doing so well here in round one is Team Green, still with a commanding lead in that top three, a podium lockout right now for that green team. We can see Andrew Moran even closer to the back of that P1 car of Michael Dowden, running low on time, only a minute and a half left in this final race. Time is ticking for Moran, but he might want to just reserve those moves, save them for a later round this season, because Team Green is going to come out of this race with a big points haul. So he's got to balance the pros and cons of going for a move here. And in my opinion, the better decision would be to confirm that podium lockout instead of risking a potential accident with his fellow teammate.
No doubt. That's definitely the way I would play it out too as well. But they could be just positioning themselves for a nice three-wide drive over the start-finish line here, but they need to pull away from Fernando Alfonso a little bit more if that's their goal that they're setting out here. Is we're now under a minute to go. This should be one, possibly two more laps, depending when the leaders cross the line here. Final charge for our drivers through this one is Team Green, currently holding down a stranglehold on the podium. Fernando Alfonso, though, the last few corners, looks like he's managed to close that gap on Mahmoud up ahead. So we could be set for a last lap charge here by Alfonso, trying to snatch away final spot on the podium from Team Green.
Absolutely. And while we are looking at the P1 and P2 cars of Michael Dowden and Andrew Moran, if something does happen between those two cars, Mahmoud is very close behind to snatch that win. So it is a car to look out for as we enter the white flag here for the last lap of round one of the Almeida Racing League.
Definitely. I'm sure that's not the way Mahmoud would want to win it, but I don't think he'd turn down snatching that P1 away from his teammates if needs to. But Kane Halliburton now in seventh spot. He's caught the back of Mike Sargent. One lap to go here. Last couple corners for Kane to try and make a move around here up into P6. He's putting heavy pressure onto Sargent. Oh, grabs a little too much of the curb, unsettles the car. He gathers it up. Didn't really lose much time off the back of Sargent. Sargent holding him off, trying to make the car as wide as he can. See him go about half car length wide there, trying to keep Halliburton from having any chance at ducking the inside. Halliburton looking inside, looking outside. A bit of an opening there on the inside for Halliburton. He doesn't snatch it up. Sargent holding on into the final second. Kane giving him the razzle dazzle with the headlights, trying to shake his concentration any which way he could. We see the leaders cross the line. Team Green is going to snatch the podium. Unfortunate for the rest of the teams, but Halliburton almost last lap charge by Halliburton, almost had it at the line, and they almost both lose it into turn one. Nice battle between the two of them there. We see Valdez Vinicius come home P9. Ader Blanco recovers up to 14th. We saw him involved in something earlier on. Yifan Chow in 18th spot. He's trying to hold off the hard charging Valderea behind him as they head to the line. Not sure if that was a lap car they passed at the end or if it was just a for position car driving, but everybody brought it home standard quo with where they were running. Michael Dowden, our race winner. Nice run by him in race two. His entire team Green and locking out the podium for race number two. Nice run by the two of them, or three of them, sorry. Yeah, looks like our biggest loss of points there was Franz in that one. He lost 16 spots, unfortunately, there tonight in race number two. A rough night for him. Lanasa, we saw up 15 spots, and Euler up 15 spots. Nice charge from the two of them from the back of the pack in race number two. So we'll let our drivers pull the cars into the pits, and we'll see if any of them join the comms here to have a little bit of a discussion in a moment, but we'll take a look at the final standings here before we get to that. Michael Dowden, as we just mentioned, brought it home on top spot of the podium. Teammate Andrew Moran and Abdul Rahman Mahmoud lock out the rest of the podium. Fernando Alfonso in fourth. Sammy Hendricks rounds out the top five. Mike Sargent was able to hold off Kane Halliburton for sixth. Halliburton comes home seventh. Adam Mika in eighth. Valdez Vinicius in ninth. And Anthony Lanasa rounds out the top 10. Tom Euler brings it home in 11th. David Kent in 12th. Brian Lenzi in 13th. Ader Blanco recovers up into 14th. Matt Larkin in 15th. Urs Mueller in 16th. Yifan Kiao in 17th. AJ France in 18th. Valdo Rea in 19th. And Zoltan Zomadar rounds out the top 20th here for race number 2. 21st, we got Kevin Adrian. Ryan Luna brings home 22nd. Yanni Mottinen in 23rd. And then we get into our cars that a few laps down or did not see the checkered flag in Jay Steffi, Alessandro Ranieri, and Fernando Rosario. Tough races for the three of them. Okay, so we've got, looks like we got a few drivers in the interview area. Let's take in, have a quick chat with Andrew Moran. We'll bring Andrew into the booth here. Andrew, congrats on your race in your win in race number 2. Give us a brief little what you saw out there as far as the racing and how Winton played out with these BMW M2s.
The track really is way more physical than I would have liked this week. A 20-minute race was kind of a lot on the wheel, but it was really fun, and there's no passing really, except I did have a double move because 2 guys went off. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The win was good, and it was actually race 1, but in the race 2 we just played the team game, get all 3 cars on the podium, and that was the goal. So that's what we did.
Now, we had talked in race 2. It looked like there maybe is a bit of a strategy between Team Green in race 2. And sorry, it was race 1 that you had the win in. Race 2, second place. But was there a strategy that you had talked about for race 2 if you can get the 3 cars lined up to not really battle to try and bring it home the most points that you could for Team Green?
Well, yeah, we knew that Abdul didn't have as much pace, so we were kind of staying with him to give him draft if needed or whatever we needed to do. So yeah, that was the plan once we got to that position, but it was always, get as many green cars in the front as possible. Race 1, we could have really had a 1-2-3 again, but Michael had a incident, but that was good for the team and good for me.
Excellent. Well, congrats, Andrew. Are you looking forward to next week's race, or is
Where
it a
is
track that you're next week? Oh, you got to
Next
ask
week
me
is
the
at
tough
Circuit
questions.
Lebanon.
Oh,
Circuit
Lebanon.
Yeah.
I've been doing Lebanon this week, and I hate it too. So it's been it'll be 2 tracks I hate in a row, and that's lots of fun. My arms are sore. So.
Well, if you can take a P1 and a P2 at a track you don't like, I hate to see what's going to happen. And when we get to a track that you do like, congrats, Andrew, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay, let's pull Michael Dowden in, our race 2 winner, and we'll have Connor have a little discussion with him.
Thank you for joining us here, Michael. Congrats on your race 2 win. How was the car feeling out there today?
It was a good race. Good 2 races out there. Honestly, it was tough with the tires going for 20 minutes in that car. It's just, if you push too hard early, it's tough at the end. But because we had all the green cars up front with us, we were able to work together and keep our tires cool and get to the end 1, 2, 3.
Awesome. Yeah, some similar thoughts being shared from Andrew Moran here previously. Tire degradation, definitely a big factor here at Winton. Even though it's just a 20-minute race, these big, heavy BMW M2s, like I was saying, deceivingly heavy. So tire wear on those front tires are definitely a factor. Question for you, Michael. Was there some strategy going in with Andrew Moran throughout that second race? Was he holding back, or did you just have that edge on pace?
No, Andrew's definitely holding back. We're just keeping it 1, 2, 3, keep it clean. And, Andrew's allowed to stay close to me. And if I make a mistake, he's going to go for a move. So, especially on the last lap, I was going pretty defensive on him. Yeah, that's usually how we run, just work together until the end. And then, if we have the space to battle it out, we will. But if we don't, we're going to come home, clean 1, 2.
Absolutely. Some great teamwork there by Team Green. Michael, thank you for joining us here. Congratulations on your win, and back to you, Rob.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Michael, and thanks, Connor. Let's bring in P3 from race number 2, Abdul Rahman Mahmoud, and we'll bring Abdul in here. Abdul, congratulations on your P3 in race number 2. The M2 is a new car this season on iRacing, and Winton, not a heavily used track. How did you feel the combo played out here today for you?
Oh, I think the combo played a beautiful role here. I think it's easier to defend here. There isn't really much room for anybody to really go for an overtake, especially if you're defending. So that kind of kept me a little bit more calm. Even if someone was close, I could just defend and keep the position and also protect my teammates ahead.
Definitely, yeah. We made mention a few times of the Team Green lockout on the podium. You had started on pole for race number 2, and it looks like you got a little bit swallowed up at the start. Was that plan to possibly drop back a little bit with your teammates, or was it just an unfortunate race start for you?
Yeah, no, I got surprised by how soon the green flag came, so it caught me off guard a little bit. But no, the plan was a normal start, and then yeah, I basically my intention was to defend until my team gets closer and then let them by, and we do the same thing that we actually did eventually. So it worked out even better, I think.
Yeah, it definitely did a lockout for Team Green on the stop. Did you feel a little pressure from Fernando Alfonso at all in 4th place? Looks like the last few laps, looks like he was able to close down that gap a little bit. Were you starting to mirror watch a little bit, or did you feel confident that you had the pace to hold him off?
Yeah, I definitely was watching my relatives and hoping that the gap between me and my teammates doesn't grow. But at the same time, whenever I made a mistake, it started to show to me like that he was also making mistakes, so that also kind of helped ease things a little bit. I noticed I was faster in T1, I believe, and then he was better in 3 and 4. So I thought, no, I got this. If I just focus on my strengths, and we should be fine.
Definitely. Well, congratulations on your podium position, and we hope you do well next week, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we've got 4th place Fernando Alfonso in the interview room as well. We'll see if Connor can catch up with Fernando and have a chat about how his race went.
Fernando, looks like you had some great battles out there. Unfortunately, it looked like you were kind of a lone soldier in that race with your purple vehicle. Not many teammates to help you take the battle against those dominant green cars out there. How did you find it was battling so closely with those green cars?
It was very fun. And the first race, I was very close to the green car ahead. And the first race, I think I could pass the car because I have some chances I could put to the side, and but it was very hard to pass. I tried to from the outside sometimes, but I could not have the grip to make the pass. So he was defending very well, and the car behind was getting closer too. So at the end, I just give up because the car behind was a white car. I think I could not try anymore because if I try, I could lose my position. And the second race too, the green team was with a great pace, and I could not catch them because they are so working together. I think they swap some positions so the best drivers stay ahead, and I don't know. I think they made a great race, and I did what was possible, and I think it was very fun.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely looked like a lot of fun out there. Some other drivers were telling us they were having some issues with tire degradation, especially with the front tires. Is that something you were experiencing as well?
Yeah, I think the tires was overheating. If you push too hard, they get overheated, and they lost the grip. So if you push hard, you got slow. So it was very hard because I pushed too hard on a pass on the black car. I think the black car went far, and he lost the track, and he went off the track. At that time, I pushed too hard, and I lost the position of the other green car past me, and I stayed at 4th position this last race. I could maybe, if I made a better move there, I could stay P3 and hold the other green car, but I don't know. Was the tire overheating? After they overheat, it was very hard to cool down the tires, and you just stay overheat and then with low grip.
Absolutely. Yeah, tire surface temperature definitely a really big factor again in these super heavy BMW M2s. But nonetheless, we really appreciate your feedback and insight as to how the car was feeling out there. Thank you for joining us here, Fernando. I'm going to pass it back to Rob for one final interview.
Yeah, thanks, Connor. We're going to quickly catch up with Sammy Hendricks here quick to end this one up. But Sammy, you brought it home P5 in race number 2. Lone representative looked like for Team Blue up in the top 10. So did you feel a little bit of pressure having to hold down the team
Hey,
tier,
Rob.
or how to go for you, Sammy?
Oh, no pressure at all. You know, I got a good teammates. We had a spotter this time, which was great. Yeah, Leon had a little bit of a mistake earlier. He wasn't able to join. Matt had an accident. It's all good. Saved the best for last. It's a tragic day overall. I'm not feeling the green team. I don't like the color. So we're gonna have to bring it next week. There's just nothing nice about the color green. I think blue's a lot better. We got, you know, blueberries, blue jeans, blue Power Rangers, Smurfs, blue balls, everything great, you know? So next week we're going to have more representation and we're going to bring it top 5.
Well, we look forward to seeing you charge through next week with Team Blue. So fortunately we're out of time, so we just want to have a quick chat with you, Sammy. A nice run up into P5 and congrats and all the best for next week.
Yep, I got all the time in the world, so
have a good one.
See ya.
And that'll do it for race 1 and 2, week 1 of the Almeida Racing Academy. I have to give a big thanks to the sponsors here, Almeida Race Academy and World of Racing, for having us on for this one. Next week, as we mentioned, is that circuit Let It On for these drivers, and we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Connor Bell, for jumping in the booth. And until next time, bye.
If you're a racing driver and you want to reach an advanced level, there's a faster and easier way to become competitive. I've gone from this to this in 5 years. Now, we've created the perfect free driver development guide to help you understand the right order of racing skills to develop if you want to become a competitive driver as quickly as possible. This guide was made after 3,000 hours of combined high-level coaching.